is Tuesday, 5:54 a.m. That's my escort over there. Okay, so I think we're good. Pressure. My fifth wheel shows over 80. Well, that's because I've been sitting. Just like the fifth wheel is kind of pinned. Once I start moving. Check, check. Dave, can you hear me?
Yes, I do.
Alright, I'm ready.
Pretty tight in here. I'll just go to where it opens up and fall in behind you.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, I told him, I said this time. So this time, be behind me on the 4-lane highway. Well, see now, I'm looking at the ground and I'm trying to avoid these hills. Let's try to turn without lifting the axle. What's gonna happen? What if I just drop the air? Yeah, I think it works. So basically, I tried before to turn with a lift axle up, down, and it did not work. The truck just keeps sliding forward. I think you need a lot of weight. When you have a lot of weight on the fifth wheel, that's when it works. So you can keep the axle down. I've got it some wear and tear, but you know, otherwise I'm looking at the pressure, it's very high. Too tight in here.
Right seat on your passenger side, plenty of room, keep it coming. At the next signal, we make a left.
Bye-bye, Jim's Truck Plaza. So Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, 4 days I've been here. Learned all the surrounding establishments. My favorite was Panera Bread, and then yesterday I went to that steak place. Very nice. Okay, 277. That's us. And after a few days you kind of like, you know, develop a routine. So every morning I would come to this intersection, right? There's a Dunkin' Donuts and Tim Hortons. And I would go there and read my book. The book, the thriller, couple of thrillers I downloaded from Google Books, Google Play Books. and I would be there till lunch, and then I would go to Panera Bread for lunch, and then maybe I would go for a walk. Yeah, yesterday a fan showed up at the truck. I see a pickup truck pulling by with kids inside, you know, family. And I see the guy's looking at me, so I knew that he's there to say hi. Yeah, I'll probably go to the left lane. There's too many posts here on the right. The truck pulls excellent. Why? Because I primed the fuel system. So if I can get rid of this problem, I don't see anything wrong with this small engine, even for big loads, because this is a big load. I don't know. I don't care what other people think. Like 93,000 pounds is a big load. Again, even though it's even less than 45 tons. Well, just slightly over, right? So be careful when people tell you that you need a yeah, the pressure was like too high. Why is it going so high? You know, the people tell you need a 55-ton trailer with 8 axles, right? Like I say, with 8 axles, this is pretty much the max in the States, right? And it's still just slightly over 45. So I think 50 ton is more like a moped.
After that signal, it'll get a little skinny. I'll just hold the right lane so no one sneaks up on you.
Yeah, 10-4. Yeah, we're turning on Genesis Road here. Yeah, okay, like that. So we'll go Genesis to 33. And then 78. Stay on this lane. We made it to 31 west, and from here it's a straight shot to I-190. And the guy's in front of me because we're losing a lane here. We just turned here from 93. And yeah, they sent us like 78, 93 to 31 west. Well, I made it to the bridge, sitting in front of the front of the office. You can see it in the mirror over there, like some steps. Normally I go in there, right? I go like this because the building, behind the building, it's narrow and there's cops everywhere today. See over there, they're doing some yeah, state police. They just come over here and they start doing inspections of people. And right before the bridge I saw, I don't know, maybe like 5 cops, and they were all stopping commercial trucks, you know. And that's it, I'm out of customs finally. Spent what, 20 minutes on the US side at the export office, and then I tried to cross. I was at 8:30 at the Canada Customs on the Canada side, and my PARS is not on the system. Those who cross the border know what that means. Like basically somebody made a mistake, so I had to go inside. Spent over 2.5 hours there. So, and arrived 8:30, left 10:55. But finally everything is done here, so now I have to follow that truck over there and pay the toll for the bridge using my Easy Pass thing, and I'm out of here. I'm just concerned about these concrete things on the left here. Oh yeah, okay. The track is above the 22.50 US paid. Okay. Definitely want to install these, you know, like if I decide finally that yeah, I'm keeping the truck for another couple of years, I'll just get a right way scales. Very useful, you know. I would get one in here somewhere for the truck. It'll show me I think it'll show me all the axles, or maybe just 3. No, 3 groups. It'll show me like steers, drives, and the trailer, you know. I think it costs about $300 plus install, because you gotta know how to connect all those wires. I don't want to do it myself. So this is QW. See, the truck maintains speed in top gear. I have my cruise control on, so cruising at 57 miles per hour, 92 k an hour. It's a bit windy today, but other than that, you know, I'm not like, it's not like some guys probably are wondering, oh, you're probably driving with 100% of turbo boost, you know. No. So like now it went up a hill, it was 30. Like the load, I look at the load on the engine in percentage. It went up to, let's say, 70, 75, now it's back to 30, back to 50. You know, but yeah, 85%, 72, 63, 53, 45. But yeah, I know it's 5 or less. Sometimes 6, now 5, 4. Yeah, the fuel mileage is not good because of the wind, and mostly the weight and all the traction on the wheels. But we're moving. This is 403 Freeway 403 in Mississauga, Ontario. And of course the truck slows down considerably on hills.
Keep left to stay on Ontario Road 3 East.
Oh, somebody had a flat explode. And I'm thinking like about this, you know,
Continue on Ontario Road.
what would help if I had a different truck? What would help me pull this 93,000 pound excavator? Well, you gotta shift anyway on hills, but extra 50 horsepower I think would be helpful. But even 550 horse 1860 torque, you're still gonna shift, so automatic would be good, you know, so that you don't have to think about what gear to go in. Stronger axles, I don't think so, but it'll definitely help to have a self-steering pusher axle, because you know the whole truck starts creaking and making noises, basically complaining when I lift it to go around corners, and I see my you know, fifth wheel load jumps up tremendously. So I would rather not kill the truck like this and just have a self-steering pusher. That's like very important. Like, you know, 50 horsepower extra, not a big deal. This truck pulls fine. Automatic is a luxury, but the pusher would be great. And also, again, my front axle is 14,600. I got 12R 22.5 tires on it. You know, not your typical drive-in axle, but still I feel that it's flimsy, you know, makes noises with a load like this, especially when I lift the pusher. But again, do I need 20,000 on the front? Not really. Like, I talked to a guy who used to run a fleet of dump trucks, and he said even like when they spec them, of course they would get like the biggest front axle, 20,000, and then he says the first thing he does is he sends all the trucks to a spring shop and they reinforce the front, because he says without that even 20,000 pound axle was not enough. Well, on, you know, because especially on a dump truck, all the weight sits right there on the frame, right? Like for me, the weight is in the back, but it's really important on a dump truck to have strong axles. But maybe like 16, 18 would be okay. Like, yeah, maybe just go one step above, but you still need to reinforce the front. So if I keep this truck, since I cannot change my pusher axle, it's too expensive to change to a self-steer. The engine is fine, transmission is no big deal, 18 speed, but the front, I would just go to that guy I found in Cambridge, not far from my parking place, and he can install an extra. Yeah, if you could, did you hear now? I turned the wheel and I hear like creaking in my front suspension. Even though my pusher is down now, right? It shouldn't be too bad. So I would just install one extra leaf in the front. Okay, I want to go into 401 Express, I think. Look at this idiots. That's why I have all these fancy flashing lights in the back, on the top. Now look at this guy. they're kind of like punishing me, right? Like, people have no idea, right, what I have to deal with here. No clue. And that's why when you have a heavy load, you have to think about yourself first, you know. Think about the safety of your truck. Think about the safety of your load first. If you have to block somebody, you gotta do it.
Merge onto Ontario 401 East.
You with me? Because if you don't think about yourself first, you can actually jeopardize the safety of the public. Machine is off. I didn't have time to show you guys. It was very stressful because one of the motors, turns out one of the motors on the track is not working properly. So it was sliding. So he says once he was loading one guy and he broke all the outriggers. So I was afraid he would break mine because it's so wide. And so I used the blocks. See, I put the blocks like this. And I made sure, first I parked over here and I was sitting at a big angle. So I moved the trailer so it was sitting on the pavement here. And I put these blocks and they helped because the track was sagging, you know. And so I checked the other side. All our triggers are in place. Of course, it's ripped off some wood, you know. No big deal. This shit happens every day, especially with stuff like this. Yeah, they don't have a yard, you know. The yard, there's no entrance. That's the machine over there, right? And yeah, the guy flipped my axle. We did that first. So now all I gotta do is just clean this shit up and hide my chains and put my flags and signs away and move that top. Oh, and secure the flip axle and lift the rear axle. I can do that right now. So yeah, these are back here. So we can lift this. And I don't remember if I showed this, but that's what I had to do. You see over here, I had to put those two smaller boards on top of my bigger one. There was no other way. And turns out, one thing I learned is that my dispatch asked me a question. I thought it was kind of like a naive question. They said, can the tracks be tucked in? Like, why is it so wide? And I asked the guy over here, and he says, actually, they can be made less wide. I said, what? How is that possible? And he showed me on the frame, there's a bunch of bolts, but he says, to do this, you need proper tools, and it would take the almost whole day to do that, especially everything is rusted over there. But there is an option, basically. I guess when they use this on some you know, big hill where they need the wide frame, they use them like that. But for transportation, of course, it would be much better if the tracks were I think it would be under 12 for sure. So now I learned, and you guys learned with me, that when you have a big machine like this, look for bolts on the track frame. If they have these bolts, they have to move them. Otherwise, you know, like we had to pay for the escort because of this, right? And it was a big load, you know, like people were cutting me off. Everybody was very impatient, you know. I had to watch my sides like more than usual. I'm glad this thing is off. And I was driving and wondering, how do people move these like all the time? And turns out that's how. They don't keep the track so wide, you know. You can tag them in, at least on this John Deere 450C. Well, that was the end of the very long journey where I sat at the truck stop for 4 days. And as you can see from the sign, probably on a 2-lane road, that's definitely not miles per hour, that's kilometers, right? Which means I'm in Canada. So not sure yet what I'm doing after this. They were saying something about Iowa back to Northern Ontario, but that's not yet like certain. So I'm gonna, once I'm done here, I'm gonna call them and ask like what they want me to do next. But I'm rested, I feel great. I spent 4 days you know, lying on my back, watching movies and reading audiobooks. And my logbook is perfect. I have lots of hours. Time to make some money. Thanks for watching. Sergey out.